Okay, hello everybody. What's going on? We're going to pause for a moment and see who pops in. In the meantime, um, as you all are coming in. In the meantime, and there it is. As you all are coming in. In the meantime, as you all. There we go. All right, to the brethren, this is going to be a good topic here. We'll see who stopped by, and hopefully we'll have a few moderators. Because a lot of the B-dubs hate when we speak on this subject. Real quick, let me read everybody real quick. Havorten Hardugu dog ola oi to the vang basas los bonzumis me ket bawni konnichiwa. Diha ni ama sani marani jambo habarigani. Assalamu alaikum shalom kamusta ka kamusta pokayo and talafa lava soy fua. All right. So as we see what kind of excitement we're going to get for tonight, hold on for a moment. And I left it in the car. But as we see what kind of excitement we're going to get for tonight, a lot of information is hidden away, and you got a lot of people following the advice of toxic dudes, copycat dudes that's just trying to get money off of them. And we are here to put a stop to all of that. This is why, and the funny thing is, for a channel that actually participates in helping a community and don't weaponize anything I do to force people to pay. All right, don't do the clickbait thing. And here's the thing: when we're talking about the DR and Colombia, right? This is kind of what you will probably end up with, but you still have to be careful, right? You have to be careful because just because the B-dubs in the US do not measure up to this aesthetically, because they look like this, and because everybody now in the world knows that the average black man is not used to seeing beautiful women in their natural beauty that is coming from the United States. So they try to play this to their advantage. All right. But here's the irony. As we're looking at this, it's still going to be easier for a brother that's going to Colombia and that's going to the Dominican Republic to talk to a woman like this. And you're not going to get all the BS that the B-dubs are espousing online. Your height don't matter to them. How you treat them do. Hold on for a sec. So in today's discussion, as you all pop in, we are going to discuss some of the things that I've noticed, having lived in the DR for a period of time and had uh, relationships. All right. So I actually had two girlfriends that were actually like we were together, and it was in the confines of a relationship where we both knew it was a relationship. And the reason why I say it like that, some of the times a woman will get with you not wanting a relationship, but as we said before, wanting your resources. We're going to talk about that and how to recognize that. Now, most of the dudes that's up here like player, you got one guy who's on YouTube, and he's pretty cool. Talk about living there, the type of women you can meet. And I wish I could invite him. Hey, what's up, Cornelius? I wish I could invite him to join this particular um, live. Put it together like that. Because he lives in the Dominican Republic and we're seeing the same things. Woo! That went down the wrong pipe. Let me take a swig of this cranberry juice. I don't know when I began to like cranberry juice. So, what's going on as we get into this? And this is going to be discussion based, especially if there are some of you other brothers that pop in here and that have traveled outside of the US. And we'll have a discussion about the differences that we've noticed so we could collaborate to see if you notice what I've noticed. All right. So, the first thing I wanted to do is go through a representation of basically the type of woman aesthetically that exists in the Dominican Republic, and we can add Colombia to this mix as well. All right. I don't know what's wrong with my computer. It's acting really slow. All right, real quick. If you'd like to help this channel out, my Cash App, my PayPal me is in the description box. if you like to donate to the stuff that I do in the community. But more important than that, take care of yourself and family first before you donate to anyone. And if you're in here already, please get the thumbs up and like, share, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet. All right. All right. So all these pictures are women from the Dominican Republic. Now, this is a model right here. And this is a professional photo. I know this because I can take these type photos, right? But when you're in the Dominican Republic, she is not far-fetched from the real type of women that you can run across, right? So why am I talking about Tinder? I am talking about Tinder because of some things that I've noticed. Over all the rest of the dating apps, when it comes to Cartagena in particular, and the Dominican Republic, and anywhere on the island. Anywhere on the island of the Dominican Republic, right? And what I am addressing is, hold on. If Brother Zimmerlu pop in here, there's another one that I would like to contrast. With everyone too, right? And that's in the Philippines. And some of the things that we've noticed on these apps. Now, I'm talking about these apps because let's be real. You are an American citizen. You're going over to another country. If you're like me, you're going to stay there for a while. Why? Because it's economical. The Most High has put in us as men to seek out a good woman for us as a mate. All right. Now, when we go to the DR, you'll meet women that look like this. All right. Minus the face they're making. This is on average. I want y'all to understand something. This is on average what you'll see aesthetically. All right. And here's the kicker. You'll see a lot of, as they say, moreno. All right. When I'm walking in the street, to the store, there's a lot of women that might be working in the street and they'll try to get your attention. They try to get my attention. Moreno, moreno, moreno. Right? That's us. The dark, dark, dark. Right? And you will be surprised at how much of the population has my skin tone. You know, but I know black. You'll be surprised at how much of the population has our skin tone. This is the other thing that's going to surprise you. That unlike in Brazil, in Colombia and in the DR, everything is game. And we're talking about somebody with my complexion. And the reason why I say this and the reason why I make these videos is because I am acutely aware at how people see me outside of myself, right? So I don't go, first of all, I'm not going to sit up here knowing that the only reason that a bunch of these, like these dudes are doing in Brazil, right? They're buying all this liquor and stuff, and then they're flossing, having 2 or 3 women up in the house, drinking up all his liquor that he bought, trying to be a player, right? And if that's what he like to do, that's what he like to do. But the reason why they're there is because of the liquor. All right. In the DR, there is great potential to find a mate, right? And part of that is they actually do look for security. Okay. Here is some more representation of what you may see in the DR. All right. And we're talking about Santo Domingo at the mall. And when we talk about how to meet women, right, you have to use all your resources. And one of the things that people try to do in the US is shame Black men for using the same resources they don't shame white men for. Let's keep it real. Shame the devil. All right. Now, when we talk about a lot of the population, there's 2 things I like about the Dominican Republic and Cuba, and these are it. Like, I realize that I have an affinity for darker skinned women. Like, the darker they are, the more affinity that I have for them. So I know this about myself, right? Now, in knowing this about myself, dang, Cornelius, you still the only one here in the chat? In knowing this about myself, hey, what's up, Afro Smith? In knowing this about myself, right? Hey, Julian, please come up into the thingamajig, come up into the panel. The because we're going to discuss this Puerto Plata versus when I go, I stay in Santo Domingo. Okay. If you can, the link to come into the panel and speak is pinned down below. All right. So if you can, Julian, come on up. All right. And so basically, I stay primarily, I've never been to Puerto Plata yet. Right. I plan on going because a woman that I like, she lives in Puerto Plata, but she always comes to Santo Domingo to see me. All right. And so some of you might know who this is that seen a video on her thing, on her timeline of us together, right? But we miss each other, but which I have some thoughts about it. But when I travel there, she pretty much waits for me to get there, and then she'll come from Puerto Plata to Santo Domingo. So I don't ever have to travel to see her. And I don't know if I should question that or not, right? But when we talk about this, I wanted to show y'all that the first photo, the thumbnail that I had up, this is what these women look like. All right. This is why the B Dub in the US they're so angry that the brothers are leaving. When they look at when they go to Colombia, when they go to Cartagena, trying to follow passport bros, they see that they can't compete with them, aesthetically speaking. When they go to Thailand, they cannot compete with these women. The B dubs of the 80s and 90s and early 2000s used to be able to do it, but their spirit has become so corrupted that what's on the inside starts to manifest itself on the outside in the way that they take care of themselves, or in this way, not take care of themselves. Hey, what's up, Tex Marine? In a way that they do not take care of themselves. Um, and so when you go here, I noticed something else too. And I wanted to try this out. And every time I come back, every time I've come back, um, I wanted to see just really how difficult it is to even meet a B dub to say hi. And I was talking to somebody, oh, it might have been Zimilu earlier, on how I had to block women from Colombia and the DR on my WhatsApp. But here's the thing. The fact that I blocked them meant that I got their number, right? But some of them were, trying to get me to look at those photos, and I wasn't feeling that. First of all, I've not been to them clubs, those script, as they say, script clubs. I never did that. It was beyond me why I would throw money away at some female, just for her to take some clothes off, right? And that's it. I never understood those clubs. But then again, if you are a thug that got money that you got not from no legitimate work, and you feel like this level of money is going to come in at will, and you understand that these women like that lifestyle, that temporary lifestyle where these dudes don't have to take care of them, nothing. They just hit it, they throw stuff up, they keep them inebriated or floating in using other means, and these women will open up everything to these type dudes, right? When you go outside of the United States, that stuff is over. So this is kind of what these women look like, right? And when I say kind of, I'm keeping it real, right? And Julian, if he could pop up here, is the Dominican Republic safe? Hold on, let me see. All right, is the Dominican Republic safe? I heard like Colombia. Well, here's the thing. The problem with the DR, all right, the problem with the DR is the dudes coming from the US to there from Georgia. And I'm gonna let that sit right there. You got a lot of dudes from ATL going to the DR. All right. And it depends on which city you go. But holy crap, I don't frequent the areas they go to. A flying roach. What? Hold on for a second. This old big old. Hold on for a second. did that sucker go? That was a huge mofo. All right. I don't know where he is, but all right. So basically, when you want to know if this place is safe or not, it is pretty safe. Understand, pretty safe. The problem is the people that have risky behaviors, like like I said, having multiple women up in your place trying to get them inebriated and smoking that wacky tobacco. What's up, man? And so some of y'all seen the dark skinned girlfriend that I had. Some of y'all seen the dark skinned girlfriend that I had, and that like they're shapely. They are very shapely, right? Now here's the crazy part: the women that I get involved with, I gotten involved with some that I met off of Tinder, but the women that I really seriously got involved with was women that I met at their job or something, right? And so, and same thing in Colombia, right? They saw me, I saw them, we was kind of attracted to each other. Then, things went from there. So when we talk about this, right? When we talk about this, it is the first place where the women, like the darker ones, as well as these women right here, will approach you. Now, back to the topic at hand. All right. This is a representation of what these women look like. All right. This is kind of who they are. All right. Not kind of, this is who they are. And not too many are out of shape. Okay. I just wanted to say, and remind you, get the thumbs up. And don't forget to like the video. Yeah, well, that's thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And if you can, at this time, please share this live with other brothers, because we're about to get into the details. There's enough of us here to have this conversation, right? All right. And so as we get into the details here, right? So this woman here that is professionally photographed, she is not far from the look of this population in the Dominican Republic. She's not far from it. This is how they look, right? The darker hued women, that's how they look. The majority of the women in the DR, they are either in shape or they're shapely. All right. And I'm talking about the ones that I run across in Santo Domingo. All right. Now, when we talk about Puerto Plata, that's where a lot of the brothers go. Okay, here's the crazy part. They don't really identify as black. They pretty much identify as Dominicans, because from the word go, they have been taught to assimilate into the culture of the mulattoes, right? Now, you got to understand something about the Dominican Republic, in that it was a land formed by betrayal, where they betrayed the darker Haitian. So Haiti was one whole island, the Haitian side and the Dominican side. The mulattoes, through their sorts in with the Spanish, because what the French did, like they did in New Orleans, is they gave privilege to their seed, right? So they gave privilege to their seed. And what ended up happening is that the Haitians, or the darker ones, were they were trying to exclude them in Haiti. And so the mulattoes betrayed and backstabbed part of their countrymen after they got freedom. And then they went to the Dominicans, what we now know as the Dominican Republic, and formed a new government there. It is the reason that they don't pay the France. Remember, Haiti is paying France for being free. The Dominicans are free because of Haiti, but the Dominicans are not paying France is because they threw their lots in with Spain. All right. And so the darker people have always been betrayed by the mulattoes, because mulattoes came from the seed of the Caucasians, right? And they wanted that privilege. And this makes the black people in the United States really distinct. All right. They wanted that privilege. I want you to understand. They wanted that privilege of being above the darker black people. In other words, not because of what they've done, not because of skill or whatever, but because who their daddy was. They're light skinned. I'm lighter than you, so I'm better than you. The kind of thing. Even though it was the darker people that's the reason you're free. So that's the whole mix up and mess up that happened with the Dominican Republic and Haiti, and it's kind of in the history books. Well, it's history that's no longer hidden, that can't be hidden anymore, right? And so this is why there's stuff. And so the mulattoes betrayed the Haitians, but then the Haitians decided to get some get back. And now you got this chasm between the two groups when they originally were the same group. So when you go and look at, all right, when you go and look at these people, let me see if I can do something. When you go and look at these people, right? It's a sad, it's a sad kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's a sad kind of thing. And so I don't know. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's one of the saddest things that had people that used to be all one people separated based on color. But then look at what the French did with the Hutus and the Tutsis, and that vicious civil war that went on all because of noses. I want y'all to understand the caucasity of this. The caucasity of this is they can brainwash people into despising their own people because of skin color. And even when you are the same skin color, they got the Hutus and the Tutsis to fight amongst each other in a just malicious civil war based on noses. The differing noses. I mean, it's crazy when you really look at it, right? You're like, okay, what? I mean, it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. Um, and it's sad at the same time. It's sad and it's crazy. But then again, what do you do about it? What can you do about it? It ain't us, it's them. And they do what they do, right? They do what they do. It is what it is with them. Now, here's the other thing. So let's get into this. All right. And who was that I said if they can? Hey, Julian Benton, if you could pop in here real quick. And anyone else who has dated outside of the United States, pop up. The link is in the at is pinned to the bottom. All right, so basically, I wanted to have this discussion because there are some things that I've noticed as a result of being here in the United States, right? And being outside of the place, outside of the United States, right? And this is the ease in which it is to meet somebody. When you're outside of the United States, it's real easy. And one of the things is that given the computer age, we start looking at things like, well, let me go on Tinder, right? Let me go on Tinder. Um, let me what else? Tinder, just all kind of stuff, right? Looking for just looking for something that we can meet. So basically, what happens is this: in the United States, I noticed that it is very difficult to meet anybody, any woman in the United States. And when you do meet them, they're not worth it because they're full of BS. I mean, straight full of BS. You're like, no, no, thank you. I'm not, no, right? And so when you go outside of the United States, you have to look at what you're getting, right? Because it is easier to meet somebody, but just because it's easier to meet somebody, it doesn't mean that that person you just met is going to be good for you. You see, there's a lot of games that they play. There's a lot of games that they play. And so you're going to have to be adept to that. But then you have the chance to be adept at that. You have option to be adept at that. And you have plenty of options. There was a woman getting upset because she was saying that she has a hard time finding a man online or whatever, right? And when you really listen to it, she didn't have a hard time finding a man. She had a hard time finding somebody that matched her brain in which she thought was an appropriate man. And because of how a lot of these women in the US think of what a man should be, you know, how they tell a man what a man is and what a man should be, it shows you how unladylike they really are. Any woman that run around tell you what a man is, what a man should be, this, that, and the other, they're not much of a woman. Because no real woman would have the audacity to be like, this is what a man should be. You see what I mean? And they know what a man should be so much, but yet all of them have these babies. I mean, think about it. Look at them. They all have babies by these dudes. And they're the most intelligent, apparently, but they keep getting knocked up by all these thugs and stuff that can't take care of themselves, much less a baby. And see, that's what I'm talking about, right? And so when you look on these apps, right? And I wish Cornelius would no, whoever, not Cornelius, Julian. I wish he would pop in here. So when you look on these apps, right? When you go to these apps and you're looking for companionship, right? You're looking for somebody, and the Colombia is kind of the same way. All right. Now we're talking for long term, like a girlfriend, somebody to date, to go out with, this, that, and the other, right? And when you look on Tinder for the Dominican Republic, it is an eye opener as to the amount of opportunities that you get by using that app. Now, here's some things that you must keep in mind: that a lot of the women are on the app to, do what they do, make some money off of you. All right. A lot of them are. But you have a lot of them also on the app looking for serious relationship. All right. So you have a lot trying to do what they're trying to do, and then you have a lot of them that are looking for a serious relationship. And it's kind of easy to pick them out. It's kind of easy to pick them out. And this is why it's easy to pick them out. The ones that, hold on for a second. The ones that are serious, right? The ones that are serious, they will approach you. They will give you the number. You'll get their WhatsApp. Well, here's the thing. So look, let me back this up. They're all serious, right? They're all serious, but you got to figure out what they're serious about, right? Some are serious about seeing you just on a temporary basis, if you know what I mean, pay to play, right? And then you got some that's trying to, nail you down. They want a relationship. And this is what you get. And so the difference is that while in the United States, and I noticed that because when I come back, I just wondered, I was like, is it even possible to say hi to somebody using this app? And I came to the conclusion, no. All right. I'm comparing me and how I look here in the United States and what it is, and the love I get when I leave the United States and what it is, right? And keep in mind, we're dealing with colorism I want y'all to understand it's not really just that simple. So we're dealing with colorism outside of the United States. So the darker you are, the more difficult it's going to be, but it's still way easier than inside the United States. So you're dealing with colorism, all right, everywhere. Because this is what Caucasian society taught throughout the history of them, the slave trade and all the wickedness they did from island to island, from land to land. All right. And so you got this kind of colorism. But some of y'all know that, and some of y'all in here, y'all can attest. Type it in if you know. If you know, you know. Some of y'all know me that I've always had attractive looking women. All right. I've always had attractive looking women that look like this, that look like these. All right. This is par for the course. And it isn't like I was out here looking to see what the best is. It is that this is par for the course. Par for the course. And despite everything I know about colorism, despite everything I know about the language barrier, despite everything I know about all the other difficulties, despite everything I know about weeding out the ones that just want money, oh yeah, yeah. So the thing is, we are still kind of a thing, but I have just some serious questions, right? Um, we are a thing, but that doesn't mean that I am not without reservations about where. No, Mimi's from Mimi. When Mimi is from Recife. I see. Mimi is Brazilian. All right. Yeah, Mimi is Brazilian. So when me and that was my longest relationship, Mimi. Mimi was my longest relationship. But the one in, let me see. I'm looking to pull her up real quick. So the one in the DR, we're kind of, my reservations are too deep about what's going on with that, right? And here's the thing. She too always comes stay with me. Hey, what's up? Right? All right. So this is my issue. I've been trying to do stuff in the community there in the DR, and it's just hard to get people to open up, right? But one of the things that was going on is that I noticed that in the DR, right? In the DR, everybody always want to come to you and stay with you, which I don't have a problem with it. But there's an issue when it comes to me wanting to get out and venture out and see their community. because I try to help out the community wherever I can, right? And so I start looking at that and I'm like, what's up with that? And it kind of, I don't know, it's leaving that thing in my head. Like, I'm like, okay, what's really going on? If you know what I mean. All right. And so I'm keeping that kind of at arm's length. Now, granted, the one that the thick one, the one with that just really curvaceous shape, she is someone I met while she was at work. So that wasn't somebody I met online. Now, the one before her, the other dark skinned woman that I met her, that we were serious, but we got into an argument over some donuts. All right. I met her on Tinder. Right. And so Mimi is from Brazil. Right. And I stay in touch with Mimi because it just can't be helped, because her mom won't let it be different. All right. And so, because her mom greets me every single day, morning, noon, and night, every single day. All right. And so, because of that, I stay in contact with Mimi too, because Mimi stays with her mom. All right. And so that dynamic is Brazilian. In the DR, I don't know this. The one I'm talking to now, I don't really know her people, because she always come see me, then leave. So I don't know her people. I don't know. I don't know. I know her. I mean, and we've known each other for some years now, but I don't. And you see the problem. We've known each other for some years, and I don't know her people. So let's see who we got up here real quick.
Hello, Nabi.
So what's
Peace.
going on, bro?
Hey, I'm just enjoying my trip to Puerto Plata. It's pretty. How can I say? I don't speak Spanish. The people up here been like friendly towards me when I first like got up here. I ain't know nothing about the DR, but my friend, he been pressuring me to come here for like a year now. I ain't want to come here. I wanted to go to like somewhere else, like Vietnam or like the Philippines.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty dope up
So
here.
so what's your experience? Man, I might need to come out there when I go back there. So what's your experience with dating out there? And it is your experience the same as mine, that there are plenty of opportunities? Like, if you go you and like I said, using the Tinder thing, as soon as I land in the country, get into my room, hook up the internet, turn on Tinder, and my profile just lights up.
Wow.
You know what I
I
mean?
didn't use Tinder. I was like meeting them like at the grocery store, but I wasn't like really like dating because out here you was right. They be you gotta be careful out here because a lot of them trying to hustle money out of you if you don't like know the game and all that. That's what happened to me. I got hustled up by one chick, only by one chick. She got me real good.
So what
So you want to
happened?
hear the story? So what happened was she was supposed to give me like a massage services for me. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I was stupid. I was naive. I'm admit it. I made my mistake. I gave her 3,000 pesos, and then she asked for 2,000 more because she needed a new phone. So I was like, okay, I got you. I said, you got me? She said, yeah, I got you. She come back from the doctor and she said she got to assist inside her private area. I'm just
Uh-huh.
looking at her. I'm just like, I'm just thinking in my head. I said, damn, I just got played or something, man. I said, you know what? It's okay. I'm just gonna take a walk and just
Right.
leave this stress out and all that, and just think about what my mistakes, what I did. That's what I was thinking in my head. So I took a walk. I went to the beach. I was just thinking. I said, damn, bro, why did I do that to myself, man?
Right. And so yeah. And so it's about game, right? And it's about a hustle, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, they will hustle the draws off of you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's what
All
happened
right.
to me. That was only with one.
Uh-huh. And the only reason why it doesn't see, here's the thing though. The reason why it doesn't happen to me, hold on. And this is the woman I really truly like right here.
She like she about in her
All right, that's the
thirties.
one I truly like.
She in her 30s.
Hmm.
Nice. That's a
Well,
great
I
match.
don't know. I never asked her her age, right?
Okay.
Um, I never asked her her age because it never just really mattered.
All
Like,
right.
and we just had this kind of connection in a place she worked at, and the thing with her is that with her she she her job, it was kind of keeping us kind of separated, right?
Okay. All
And
right.
and so as you can see, we are attracted to one another, but we tried to keep things on the low because of her job, and I was involved with the place that she worked, where she worked.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm gonna say it like that. Now the place since closed down, but they were going to reopen again, right? And so I don't know what's happening. So I know a lot of things about the place and this, that, and the other, but I don't know what's happening. And they're making up all kind of new rules. And so, as you know, in the Dominican Republic, they they really frown on people at the job dating somebody that's a customer.
I ain't know that.
Like um, if you go into the the store or whatever, I don't think the store is that bad though.
Yeah, I
But
go to Jumbo.
certain office, uh-huh. And here's
It's
the
called a
one that they're
Jumbo.
talking about. This is who I'm talking to. This is the one I'm talking to now. Hold on. That's the
Phone
one I'm
Canal.
talking. So we've been talking for a while. I met her at her old job when I used to play my keyboard up in a place that the hotel that had the stove and everything, right? And so her and a friend of ours used to come by and eat all the time, right? And so we be up there just smacking it down, eating and stuff like that, right? And so what happened is how we got together is I didn't know she liked me like that, right? So our mutual friend, oh, let's see, put this person up here at the stage. What's up, Julian? Hey, brother Eli. And so what Eli. So what happened is our mutual friend put hooked us up. You know, like we knew each other. She would braid my hair all the time. I would cook for everybody and stuff because everybody liked my cooking, right? Right. So I'd be like fish fries and stuff like that, man. I'd be like down home soul food. I'd be like soul food, right? And and they loved it, right? I would bake at that place where I was staying. I could bake as well, so I would bake cornbread and stuff. And so and the first woman I showed you that was on my shoulder, right? Um, um, that's what got me in that door. Food, you know what I mean?
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
And so this was the thing, right? So when we talk about all of this and how we meet and stuff, um, I did meet one woman on Tinder, right? But like I said, the meaningful relationships that I've met have been us getting together through other means, like the job that she used to work at. But the reason why the Dominican Republic, I recommend Tinder because of the policies that a lot of jobs have, especially in Santo Domingo. Hey, what's up, Mr. GG? Especially in Santo Domingo. And this is why I recommend Tinder. And and so basically, if you meet somebody off of Tinder, where they work don't matter because you met on Tinder. If you meet somebody at the job, they frown on them giving you their phone numbers, this, that, and the other, right? And so, like the first woman, so like her, right? So like her, we're still kind of talking, but I'm having second thoughts because I've never, um, like I said, never have I seen um, her neighborhood. What is all my names hidden? Check my settings. Um, hey, brother, you got to come up here and explain that to me because I don't know what's going on. I'm up here thinking everything cool. All right, and so all my names are hidden. Let me see. What is he talking about? I don't know what he's talking about. Can y'all see the names?
I'm checking right now. I see my
Huh?
name.
Oh, let me see if everybody got them thumbs up real quick. Let me reset this. All right. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And it might be my connection, right? My connection is kind of slow where I'm at, brother Gigi. Oh, and you can pop up if you want. The link is in at the bottom, right? And so when I say that the women that I've met is comparable to what you see in these photos and stuff like that, that's true. Now, here's the thing. The reason why dating apps and they come at you, I lied to you not. They come at you when um, when you go on Tinder. They come at you, right? And so you got to be able to navigate. And also keep in mind that even though they may come at you, right, the intentions of many of them, uh, as the brother was saying, differ from what you may be intending. Now, if you are down there for pay to play all day, then you'll have all you will have all you can handle, right? But if you're staying there a while, and here's the key: staying there a while, right? And you want more, right? You're staying there a while and you want more to life, then that's when you're going to have to do some serious vetting. What's up, Mr. GG?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. We're talking about some of the things that I noticed um, while in the DR and here, and why I believe that Tinder is an excellent app for the DR and maybe Colombia, in like Cartagena or in Cali, right? I wouldn't recommend it for Medellin.
Oh, you went specific with it. Yeah. I talked to a lot of guys like Shaolin Fantastic and a few others, private on WhatsApp. And multiple of them had actually warned me as a newbie and many other newbies that Tinder used to be good, but the problem is more saturated with scammers, scophamine people, setup artists, and things like that. So they're very, very more skeptical of like, hey, man, don't even stay the hell away from the apps, because more than most likely once you get down there, man, there's so many of them out there, right? More than most likely you won't need an app. Now, at the time, the apps work absolutely phenomenal, no problem, as opposed to here in the States where you're going to be over flooded with goddamn, women, hitting you up or whatever, right? Where you got to turn the thing off. Even one master teacher, when I had a consultation with him, yeah, he told me, man, on the consultation, man, I can't believe I'm saying this, but he said, yeah, when you get that, when you upload, he said, not the expensive plan, but like the second one or whatever, man, and change your location. Yeah, he said you're going to get over flooded with so many women getting at you. It's going to be incredible.
You don't need to pay anything. Like you and other guys, y'all paying for stuff. This is why I recommend.
I haven't paid for anything. I haven't personally, no.
Right. All you have to do is get the app and show up and wait. A little bit of patience. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, Kelly Gill? And so a little bit of patience. So this is the deal with the DR. All right, the DR, they're coming at you, right? They're coming at you. It differs from let me do it like this, or all right, it differs from, no, let's go here, see what this does. Okay, so the DR differs from any other place because of the rules there, right? And so everybody is using it, and they don't have the scopolamine growing like that in the DR. You really don't have to worry about that. I still would never have two women, like a woman like, oh, my friend, no, right? Because they will rob you, right? Now, if you find a woman and you're on a one-to-one basis, you're not going to get robbed. They just have manners and stuff like that, right? And so that's the least that you have to deal with. In the Philippines, it's the same way. The Philippines, I had a girlfriend there, a legit girlfriend, and I was comfortable, but it was only one. right?
I
And
understand.
that's the key. Now, so here's the thing. So a lot of places I meet these women, and remember, I'm in Santo Domingo, so I'm not by the beach, right? So Puerto Plata, Julian can attest to that. Puerto Plata is next to the beach, and you don't need the app then because you'll get bombarded. But Santo Domingo is like the city, and so the reason why the app is important um, is that if you want to meet somebody not on their job, because you won't, it's bad news to meet somebody on their job. So if you want to meet somebody not on their job, then that's what you do. What you just set your thing for serious relationship, no pay to play, and you put that up in the thing in Spanish, right? They're still going to come for you, the pay to play, but still.
Wow,
uh,
you have an interesting experience because, like I said, I've actually heard the opposite. Like, dude, don't go on there. It's very, very dangerous in there. But
no,
according
no,
to
no,
you,
no,
you've
no.
actually
You're
had
hearing it from people.
yeah. Well, I'm saying, no. Hear me out. You're because you've had a absolute positive experience from what I'm hearing, right? But individuals that actually have tried it and actually have seen, like there's been a lot of YouTube videos of guys who went straight to Tinder, right? And a lot of these guys were robbed, they were scoffamine. Some of these women were hooked
But
with
not in the
cartel.
DR.
Yeah, cartel bosses. No, I'm talking particularly both Colombia and Brazil. Okay,
Yeah,
as
yeah, no,
far as
no. But that's why I
as far
said DR.
yeah, as far as DER though, it's hit and miss from what I've heard. All right,
No,
it's
no,
hit
no.
and
Yeah,
miss.
it's hit. Yeah, yeah. You're right there. It's hit and miss, but the opportunities are plentiful, and you have to know how to weed out. In the that's why I said the DR. That's why the title is the DR, because I've noticed this. Like in Brazil, you don't need nothing, right? Just go to the beach, right? And
Wow, I didn't even hear that. That's a new one. You said that's a new one. No one told me that. Just go straight to the beach. That's a new one.
it depends on which beach you go to. It depends on which beach you go to in Brazil. So and in Brazil, you can meet somebody at work, right? And so the problem with Santo Domingo is you can't meet somebody at work, and you don't want to do that and put them at that kind of risk anyway, right? So the best thing you could do is go on Tinder. And now, if you happen to meet them on Tinder first and then go by their job and they're there, that's different. In Brazil, like the girlfriend that I met, we worked together. Well, let me not say work. I volunteer there, right? Because my visa is not a work visa, and I'm not working. But all the well, y'all know what I do. I donate stuff into the communities and stuff like that. And so I met her at the NGO that where the lady was the lady that runs the NGO, her and her husband, they're like my family, my friends, family. And we're talking about they asked me if I need any money, family. Okay, when I show up, right? You need some money, you always take care of us. We're going to take care of you. That family, right? Um, and so them, and then I had a friend, he was a musician too, he played saxophone. They colluded together to put us together because we liked each other, right? And so in the same way, myself and the woman that I showed you a picture of, we had a mutual friend from they both worked at the same place where I was staying, and we got put together mutually. You see what I mean? And so that's kind of how that happened. But the reason I didn't know if she liked me or not, and the reason why we got together, because we still talked outside of their job, but we never talked as far as relationship, right? And so um and so that's what I'm saying. And we didn't get together until both of them stopped working at the place, and we were still in contact. And so they made their move on me. You see what I mean? And so, and we've been kind of together since they left, right?
So
And
you're
so
so you so would you suggest that the Tinder works pretty good though, and it's safer in the DR compared to Colombia and Brazil, from your
yeah,
opinion?
that's the point. And this is why I mentioned the DR and not Colombia and not Brazil. And in Colombia, you're pretty safe in Cartagena and Barranquilla, right? So Barranquilla and Cartagena, you're pretty much okay. Where you're not okay is, I don't know about Cali, so I wouldn't try it in Cali, and definitely not in Medellin, right? If you're going to do the dating thing in Medellin, go do the Cupid something, Latino Cupid or something. So, will y'all help me out? The Cupid something, y'all know the name of it?
Colombian
That's what you do.
Cuba.
Yeah, Columbia Cupid, right?
Yeah,
That's what.
I've seen Colombia Cupid here in the States.
Right. And so that's what you do there. Now, one of the things that was kicking me, right? And this was the other lady. Hold on. Um, One of the things that was kicking me is, now that's who I really, 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 really like in the DR, right? Because our spirits are aligned. Like, she is good to people, I'm good to people. But her job, you know, it ain't what it is. So her job was an issue. What does this do? So yeah, the job was an issue. And so basically, when we're talking about these things, right? When we're talking about these things, not everything is good or bad for a particular place. And this is why it's important for you to know the place. And what really made me think about this is Tinder is garbage in the United States, right? You won't meet anybody, and none of the dudes that are really serious in the US will use that. I think Tinder is okay if you're in the Philippines and Thailand, right? But
Yeah, it's pretty much a ghost town out here, man. In the States, in the
yeah,
Matrix,
yeah,
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 it's a
yeah.
ghost
In the
town.
state, or all dating sites are, is because you don't want what's there, and therein lies the problem. In the U.S., you don't want what's there. Again, I'm pointing out to you that this is the average aesthetic look. And let's go and talk about the young Colombians, right? One, they don't have no age, height thing, right? They have, can you take care of me thing. You see what I mean? All right. And so in the United States, the B Dub is fighting a losing battle if the dudes with money is running to these places and meeting these women in these places with this type of ease, right? And so, and the reason why I was pointing this out is, um, and remember, I call it a viable option. I didn't say it's the only option, but a viable option, right? In the and you got to treat these things for where they work, right? And so, like I said, I wouldn't use it in Medellin. I wouldn't be the United States. No, you don't need it really for Brazil. You got Brazilian Cupid, right? You don't really need it for Brazil. Um, you can go on the beaches in Copacabana and meet whatever there on the beaches of Copacabana, um, Florianopolis, and stuff. Now, if you want to check out, you're going to go somewhere like the Florianopolis and all the rest of that stuff, Recife and stuff, then yeah, use whatever you can use to check things out there, because things are different in those places, right? Um, when you are in like the Philippines or whatever. I was hoping my brother Zimmerlu would be up here. Philippines had one called Pina Love, but that's for Caucasians. Not everything, not everything that's out there is a benefit to us. And you got to remember that Caucasians spread this despise of the black skin across the world, right? And what changed that is us showing up. And so a lot of places, like if you go to Thailand, all we got to do is show up. We don't need Tinder. We don't need none of that. Show up, walk around in the right spots. If you go to the club and know how to dance a little bit, then you in like Flint, right? And one of the things that the women liked about me in the DR is I know how to merengue, because that's their dance. I always thought it was the salsa, but it is not the salsa. It's merengue. That's what they do there. You see what I mean? And so, brother Eli, he went to the Philippines and found him a wife. And I wish we, before he skipped out, if we, well, when you come back, brother, tell us how you met. I mean, because it was nice how they met, right? And so that's basically it. And so when we're talking about a serious relationship, when we're talking about, there we go. When we're talking about serious relationship, right? That this is when the rubber meets the road, because the pay to play, you meet them all day. Hey, brother, did you hear me? Eli.
Yes, can you hear me?
Eli. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just text Zimmerlu letting him know you want him to come on the live stream.
Because he could talk about Pina Love and stuff and how it's a scammer. But I mean, you didn't use no apps or nothing. You just showed up, right?
I did use the app. It's called the Word of the Most High. That's my app. But hey, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was just talking to Nelly about that, and we all have different paths. We all have different ways. I'm older. I talk to the young men, and I make suggestions. Yes, we can do a lot of stuff. Yes, you can go out there and chase the women. Be wise about your selection. Be very careful. You know, as my brother, I chose the path because what I wanted a wife. You know, and I know when you have assets, it gives you access to a lot of stuff, but I didn't want that. Yeah, it's great as me, but I'm like, okay, then what after 5 months? So I wanted what I wanted. I pursued what I wanted, and I now have what I wanted.
Right.
So the apps, and Zimlu talked about the apps. I said, nephew, I'm not an app person. Nothing against it. I'm an in-your-face person. I want to see your reaction. I want to see your responses, hear your responses, what I ask, because it gives me information. You can try to hide, but certain questions reveal a lot of stuff. Even though you may think it's innocent, to you, it gives me a lot. Such as, for example, an easy one. Girl, you look like you in college. Yeah, I am in college. You just told me more than likely you in debt. Now I need to find out how much debt you in. Well, how do you do that? What are you studying? Oh, I'm studying this. So I already know if you studying that, and I ain't got to tell her this. If you studying that, then that's probably costing this amount. And knowing already that a whole bunch of women are irresponsible when it comes to finances, you probably got this much debt. Oh, but you want to look the part. So you got this type of vehicle. Oh, but if you got this type of vehicle, you got to have this type of dress style. So you're in the mall. So you just let me know very kindly and nicely, because you don't know, but I know you ain't going to be for me, because I'm not no sponsor.
Exactly.
I am, as for me, I walk with my Father's word. Nothing against what others do. I'm here to help you if I can. Yeah, do your thing. Be wise. Go out there. I will give you one warning. If you're gonna do your due, just make sure that woman ain't married, because that's called adultery, and that comes with a penalty.
Yep.
Because if you want
Oh,
to be
you gotta
single,
look out for that too, because they be trying
right?
it.
If you want to be single, I'm here to help you be single, but you can do it in a wise way, because I don't want to see you be destroyed. You're out there working hard. Once you step out your door, you got all types of challenges coming at you in every different way. I don't want you to be in no relationship that's going to add to your destruction. If it ain't assisting you, then what's the point? Just like a business, if I hire you, it's for you to assist me in what I'm doing, not to destroy what I'm doing. The book says, not me, I'm not adding or subtracting. It said the Creator will create for me a helper. The opposite of helping is what? Exactly. And too many of us, because they refuse to listen to the wisdom of a Nabi, are being destroyed because you are doing the opposite of what the Creator word says. You are not finding helpers. You are finding destroyers, and it is you who are paying the penalty. I don't care how good she looks. Behind that can be a witch, a sorceress, a seductress. If you don't think so, money can't protect you from wickedness. Look at all these athletes. Look at all these actors, got all that money. But when it comes to women, ain't got, excuse my language because my wife is in front of me, ain't got no damn sense. They got all that money and they want to go out there and get whores.
Yep, marry them and marry them.
And marry and call a whore your wife. Why would I personally, I'm gonna make it, why would I want to be with someone that I know and others know has been with others, and others know she's done this, she's done that, as if when she marries me, she's gonna forget all that stuff that she used to do with however many men? That, to me, that doesn't make any sense to me. Now, you can do what you want, but everything we do, whether right or wrong, comes with rewards. Sometimes the rewards are good, sometimes they are not. The book says, and I'm going to hold to the book, the man that finds a wife finds a good thing. You look up the word good, it means righteous. Ain't no damn whore righteous. But you men, you young men, continue to seek after the opposite. You're going to get what you're going to get. Me and Nabi and others are here to simply warn you. You can do what you want to do, but you can't make no excuses in front of the Most High, ever. His word ain't going to change for you, for Nabi. I don't care how much money you have, how much you don't have. I look at y'all results, and y'all making terrible decisions. Terrible,
right?
And it's destroying
and that's
you.
how a lot of guys get caught up. I would say that I've never been caught up, and that's the thing. So, one, I'm not picking those women that's trying to get over on men, and once I find out they do, I know how to leave them alone and stuff, because we don't. A lot of times we're not going to see until we see, if you know what I mean. What's up, Space Rice Crispy? We're not going to see until we see, but when we see, we're supposed to acknowledge and leave it alone.
That's called wisdom.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's called wisdom.
We don't know
when you
we don't know their
recognize
hearts. Yeah, we don't know their hearts, but as soon as we see the corrupt, as soon as we see the witchcraft, we leave it alone.
Right.
Now, here's the other thing. This is why the B-dubs in the U.S. cannot compete with this. Right. And this is why I was telling you, Mr. Gigi, that there's a difference where you use these apps. Because if you want to have a discussion with somebody in the DR, you can do that. I wouldn't, like I said, the Colombia is, especially in Medellin. Yeah, no. And then when you go to other places, right? It's right. It's the thing that gets you into the door. It gets you to meet people. It helps you practice the language. And here's another thing that it does. And like I mentioned before, I've started conversations with a lot of women from the DR on Tinder who I blocked on WhatsApp. But here's the catch. I didn't have to block anybody in the United States on WhatsApp or from Tinder because they don't talk to dudes. They're not interested in good dudes, right? And so in the DR, you got good women and bad women looking for you. So you got to be able to weed them out, right? And then you have the conversation with the good one, right? Remember, it's a tool, right? It is a tool. But one of the things that's going on is that a lot of brothers don't know how to use these tools as tools, right? Just because they show up and show interest, yeah, they are interested. Just find out what they're interested in. That's the key. Because then women are going to hit you up. They're going to flood your responses in the DR. They're going to flood. They're going to flood your thing. They're going to flood. Send you messages. And most of it is just out of politeness. All right, meaning that if you say hello, what they're going to do is say hi back, and then you start a conversation that way. No ignorant stuff, no nasty stuff, nothing like that. If you say hello in Spanish and you're in their area, right? What they're going to do is greet you back. Why? Because that's their culture. That's not U.S. culture. That is their culture, right? So they'll say buen dia, or they'll ask just simple stuff. So if you say hello to them, they're going to say hello back. That's what makes it so easy. They did not lose decorum, right? And so this is what I'm talking about. We don't have that in our culture. They'll say hola. You say hola, they'll say hola back, right? And so that's the beginning. And then you weed them out. Here's the thing. When you was talking about all those dudes getting caught up, all right, it's not, they're like women, where women tell the worst and say it was, no. If they're getting caught up like that, and that kind of evil stuff is happening to them, that's because they set themselves up for it, right? One, I stay in hotels. What's the advantage to hotels? All IDs are checked. We talked about this before. All IDs are checked, right? They'll leave their license. Now, the one sister that I showed you, she don't even have to leave hers anymore. She just show up, right? Because they know who she is. And so what happens is a lot of those dudes that SH on these places, they're full of SH, right? For this reason. If you don't put yourself in danger, you won't be in danger, per se. You can only be taken advantage of if you're doing stuff, smoking some other kind of stuff, getting plastered out of your brains, right? Anybody that means evil is going to take advantage of a dude that's in a compromised position, right? So even when women, even say I meet somebody, right? Say I meet them in person. Because I'm always sober-minded, they're not going to think, oh, I'm going to take advantage of him. That's why nobody's ever taken advantage of me, right? Now, I will say they'll go shopping in my stuff. Ooh, can I say? Because that, hair products or stuff like that and stuff. I share stuff, right? They see the little colognes that I pass out to the flight attendants, and they'll want one. And it's just that, right? And so I've never had a non-pleasant experience where I had to be like, man, my life is at risk in this foreign place. Right? And so basically, when you mess with the wrong type of females, this is when this happens. And when I mean wrong type, I mean you mess with somebody that was a risk from the word go, meaning that they came with two or more things, and your idea of fun with this woman you don't know is to pop some spirits and get into the wrong spirit, and then the next thing you know, you're being taken advantage of. Right? It's not happened to me because I've always been sober-minded. right? If they want to try to scam me, they got to give me some poor my grandma story. You know what I mean? And I don't fall for that. I like I'm not your man. I'll tell them that in a minute. Um, and so I mean, this is the thing. There's some things you got to watch out for and stuff. And remember, these things are just an icebreaker. They're not the end all and be all. You're supposed to start having a conversation. Remember, I said I meet him on Tinder, but I talk to him on WhatsApp. Right? I didn't say I meet him on Tinder and I invite them over. Right? I met them on Tinder, talked to them on WhatsApp, and then I start deleting them when certain things are said. Right? Delete, and block on WhatsApp. And then I'll go to Tinder and delete and block. Right? But that's because I am using it to find a specific. And the reason why this, again, the advantage is you cannot meet these women at work anymore. And the DR is just getting crazy. I don't know how much longer I'll be going there, but I have friends there, right? They're coming up with new laws and stuff. They're trying to get money, and they're I don't know what the government is doing. I don't know what their government is doing, but I guess they're trying to get money the best way they know how, and that's off of tourists. And so that's why the DR is kind of losing popularity too. And so when you look at it, when you look at all this and the stories you've been hearing, remember, I've been living in these places for years, right? Brother Gigi, I've been living in these places for years. I've been doing this stuff far longer than these dudes that you're talking to, way longer than they're just getting started in my thing, right? And so my experiences is that it's an honest experience. I'm not trying to make no money off it.
But let me make this clear. I'm not talking to guys who just started like yesterday, man, or guys who only went there for a year. No, man. We're talking like guys who've actually, like one master teacher,
Right,
yeah, these guys have actually been going there. I can easily probably say maybe 10 years or so, man. And the thing is that, I believe they're just looking at it as, a precautionary measure, these are the do's and these are the don'ts, please don't do this, please don't do that. You understand?
Right. Yeah.
I don't think they're coming from a position of malicious intent,
Right. And so, yeah, so we all speak that there's a dude named DC Born Rob, and he gives you, all the news on Colombia, because that's his thing, right? And so him and myself, we've been giving this cautionary message for years, like 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? And so basically, but what I also do is give you the reality of what's working and what works, and why the pitfalls that have befallen others that have not befallen me. And one of the things is I'm always sober-minded. So if I'm meeting somebody, I'm not meeting them over drinks and stuff. I'm not inviting them up to drink into a stupor. And what I do is I rent hotels. And all the hotels collect IDs. So they know who these people are. And I do that on purpose because I'm watching out for two things. I don't know their laws like that. So I don't know the age thing. And I don't know if they're lying. Like you'll find somebody that look real young, but you don't know you're like, ooh, she look kind of young. But if the guys at the desk check their ID, I know it's good. Right.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you know who Pablo is?
Yeah, Pablo Escobar.
Yeah. Pablo, they used to be here on YouTube. Yeah. He goes to Colombia like easily like every 60 to 90 days. Like he's always out there, right?
Right.
And I talked to him, right off the gate. He frequents Colombia a lot, man. And it'll tell you just right off the flip, man, when it comes to those dating apps, man, just be very, very careful, right? These are guys out there who's been out there, man. These guys are like in their 50s, some of them in their 60s, right? That haven't just started. I know you're like, well, some of these guys, they just started. Nah, man, these guys been doing this stuff for a while. But what I'm saying is that I like the fact that at least somebody was able to put you in a position where they can say that, hey, please don't do this or please don't do that. A lot of brothers wouldn't do that. There's some brothers that will gatekeep, throw you out to the sharks and hope you figure it out yourself. You understand?
But see, we've been doing that in Colombia, Brazil, the Philippines, and now the DR for the longest, right? The difference is not only do we tell you what not to do, but we tell you what you could do, right? And the state that you need to be in to do it. Because longer than them, I've been in Colombia and in Brazil. And remember, I live primarily outside of the United States in these
Correct.
in particular.
Correct.
All right. And I speak the languages and stuff, right? And so, and I think Pablo Escobar probably speaks Spanish too, right? And so basically, yeah, we've been telling people no to DC Born Rob. You need to check him out. He tells you the news on Colombia if you want to stay, this, that, and the other, right? And so basically what they will break down is this, that we all say this, don't have more than 2 women ever anywhere, right? That you don't know. All right. Now, I can do it because I had to stay in a hotel, and usually by the time that arises, I know everybody, right? I know the people, but I have the protection of the place that I stay because I stay in the same place all the time, right?
Right.
And so hotels are different from Airbnbs. And Airbnbs, you really got to watch your back, but because even though you have security, right? The security in an Airbnb, if they have it, is not as thorough as the security at the hotels. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
And
just like that discussion me and you had about that guy in South Africa that woke up with a gun to his face. Remember that? Yeah, and when he woke up and when he woke up to that gun in the face or whatever, and you were saying that, hey, a lot of times it's typically because he had Airbnb, and that was exactly right. But what was interesting, what he even said, he even told us, hey, you guys, from my experience, you guys, based on these mistakes I made, please don't make the mistakes I made. You have to go get you a hotel, man. Get you a hotel. Eat the money up for the security. Because Shouting Fantastic even told me the same thing. Regardless of what country you go to, eat the cost up for your safety and security.
Well, you don't even have to do that. See, here's the thing. There's the thing with hotels in these other countries, especially tourist spots, that makes them separate from the Airbnbs. The hotels they literally, I'll tell you. So I met this woman in Cartagena, right? He was Venezuelan, right? And so she wanted to stop by, and I was like, okay, cool, right? And so she stopped by, and we talked outside, and then I was going to go and get her something to eat. So I take her by the desk, right? Now, keep in mind, in Cartagena, I'm like a little brother, big brother. I know these people well. They know me. All right. So I take her by the desk. They took her ID, and they said, nope, you can talk outside, and that's that. I didn't have to tell her anything. One, I don't know what the IDs are supposed to look like. She had an ID, but it wasn't the right one. And so that's the thing. You know what I mean? And so, I had a bunch of questions about her too, right? But anyway, so and so that's the difference with the hotels and stuff like that. You can have friends and stuff like that, but they stuff have to be on fleek. Their stuff have to be legit, right? And this wasn't a mate or nothing like that. It was just a friend, you know. And she like, nope, wrong ID. And I was like, and so I was like, hey, wrong ID, sorry. So she was a Venezuelan national, and it was like the wrong type of green card, or I don't know. But what happened was I waited till she left, and then I asked my friend at the front desk. I was like, "Yeah, so what was up with the ID?" And so she explained stuff to me. And so when you build these relationships with the hotels and stuff like that, they'll explain a lot of this stuff to you and stuff. So they will explain the games and stuff that people use. And so I developed all these relationships over these years and stuff. And what the difference is that there's good ways to do this, and you shouldn't live in fear of things. And people being too afraid to do anything. And it's just that, and you don't have to pay a lot of money to do anything. Just get a nice hotel, right? The front desk is going to check it, right? Hold on, and here's another one. The hostess at the hotel say, yes, hotels don't play that. Here's the thing. Hotels are a business, right? And
Gotcha.
in a tourist area, anything goes down at a hotel versus an Airbnb, which is a private residence. The whole hotel chain loses money for a long time. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll put it this way. So the big boss was at the hotel that was I just mentioned, right? And
Right.
so I decided I wanted some pancakes for breakfast, right? And so I made some pancakes. I asked anybody. Yep, there you go. Be wise in your selection. All right, so I'm up in the so during breakfast, I was making pancakes in the kitchen, right? And so the boss, she was like, "Don't do that again. Not during breakfast." See, so because everybody comes up to the roof for breakfast and stuff like that, and I was making pancakes for just me and the people that work there, right? At breakfast. And we was like, "Oh, okay." Right? Now, after breakfast and stuff, or when I'm just cooking stuff for myself, and if I'm cooking for myself, I'm gonna let everybody eat. If I eat, they eat, we eat, right? And so there's that. And so yeah, there's a lot of things that I can do, but there's a lot of rules that the hotels maintain. And during certain things when it's public. Now, when they only have the kitchen public for breakfast. So anytime after that, I can use it, right? So I just pay attention to what they say, what they say to do, not to do, this, that, and the other, right? Hey, thanks. What's his name for the donation? More soccer balls.
He said more soccer balls. Yeah.
Well, that's what I do.
Real quick,
Dwayne, thanks, Dwayne.
What I was trying to say earlier about the
Thanks,
names.
Dwayne. But anyway,
What I was trying to say earlier about the names on StreamYard, you got to go to the settings because like it shows just our profiles and our faces on there, but usually it shows our names under our faces. You understand? And I guess that setting you have is off. That's all I was trying to say earlier. That's all.
Yeah, but how do you turn it on?
It's inside of your settings menu. You have to go inside of your settings menu inside of the studio and kind of play around in there. It's usually either under display or something like that under there. And you'll have to turn that trigger on and all of our names will show up. That's all I was saying.
Okay. So I gotta go in. That's another reason I asked you. So go into settings. Damn, where's settings? Gotta be this. Can I do it now, or do I have to end the go do it when the live is over? But brother, can I do it now or when the live is over?
No, you could do it right now. You could do it right now. Live don't have to be over. But again,
Oh,
I'm
I
just
see it. I see it. I see it.
yeah,
Go into settings.
right. And then
All
and
right.
it'll say it'll say display names or something like that or whatever, or hide names on there, something like that. You'll see it. Just
Okay, I'm
stream.
looking.
Yeah, I use Talk Studio, but StreamYard actually has a habit of kind of changing things around from time to time.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. All right. Yes, layouts, hotkeys, recording, visual set, audio, camera, show badges. I got that. Display information, message on stage. I got that. Shift videos, audio, automatically present media on. I got
Yeah,
that.
yeah, you got
I
to
can't
find it for
say
you.
anything.
Yeah, you got to find it. You got to find it, man. It's like display an image for your audience name. It'll say something like that on there.
Okay. Um, play sound. Um, all right. I'll look at it later.
Yeah, yeah, it's no
Shift
big
up.
deal. Yeah, it's no big deal. But I was just giving you a heads
It
up. That's
is to
all.
me now. Now that I know.
He said
Well,
it's.
I'm just. Uh-huh. Uh,
uh, he said it is to me now.
hotkeys. Okay. Yeah, I'll figure this out. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, so
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That a lot of times I don't want people to be afraid to go out. Um, I don't want people to be afraid to go out there, right? I don't want I want people to be cautious. And that's the
sure.
difference. Caution is different from being afraid. All right. I want people to travel, but I've been doing things in such a way for a long time. And like
Yeah, you just
the
don't want
people in the
you just
favelas,
don't want people you just don't want people to be a fool about it.
exactly. But I want them to know how to, so that's why I give them pointers how to do this stuff. Like when I say when I say use this in the DR, like when you're in Santo Domingo and stuff, there's a reason why I'm saying that, and that's because the type of women that you are going to want to be in a long-term relationship with, they're not going to be able to talk to you because of the laws and the customs of the places where they work at, where they frown on passing out numbers and hooking up at the job.
Yeah,
You see what I mean?
yeah,
Um, all right, got you, bro. And so this is the thing, right? And so that's why I specifically said this is a tool for the DR and not Colombia, right? Like in the title, right? I said, is it a viable option in the DR? And I find that it is, right? But you still have to learn how to navigate, and your spirit still has to be right. Like what you want, what you really want, right? If you know what you want, then you can exclude what don't fit what you're getting. You see what I mean? And so the ones that's pay to play, they'll come right out with it. So you just block them, right? You block them. You'll switch up. You'll do numbers. You block them on WhatsApp, then you block them on there because you have nothing to say to them. right? So I'm not going to continue to message and stuff. And then you have some that says, I'm looking for a long-term relationship, but no, they're looking for pay to play. Now you block, I block and report them, right?
So you became a Luke Skywalker master of blocker.
Oh hell yeah! All right, yeah, because I'm not going to deal. I want, if I'm looking for something, just be real. Now I don't block and report the ones that just out there like that. They're like, this is what I'm looking for, right? But if you say you're looking for something serious, and then you come, no, I'm just here to pay to play. Then no, you there to get blocked and reported for lying, right? And so basically, this is this. Right, but again, this is something that works in the DR in a way that it does not work anywhere else, and that's why I decided to do a video, because I was like, wow, because the women are very beautiful there.
Yeah.
Right. And these pictures that I'm showing you of the women, if you see the woman that I talk to, the women that I've been talking to, this is what they look like in general. Right. And so and because y'all seen them, y'all know I ain't BSing. And when they're talking to me, they know me. I'm a little overweight now. I'm not the skinny dude. Well, I wasn't, I put on a gut, right? And so they see the gut. They be rubbing on me too. But the girlfriend, right? But this is them, and this is what it is. And so the thing is, you put your real self up, and then I expect them to put their real self up, because at the end of the day, I want them to like me for what they see and what the type of man that I am, right? And the type of man that you are does matter here in the Dominican Republic more than your height. You don't have to be 6 feet, right? And when these women ask me, why don't I talk to American women? I'm not 6 feet. Sorry, I don't qualify to talk to you all. So I'm gonna just stick with the women outside of the U.S.
There you go. Yeah, and
right?
I don't qualify to make $100,000 per day, by the way, too. Put that on it.
per day, right? And so this is the limitations upon which they put themselves, right? And so I don't have to participate in their limitation game, and I'm not going to participate in it. And so, yeah, they on their own, right? Because I'm not dealing with it. I ain't playing it. And I'm like, you know what? It's what y'all asked for. Y'all told real brothers, to leave you alone. You prefer the thugs and stuff. So let the thugs take care of you. Let them take you out on dates and stuff. And so that's the other thing. And that's the other thing, too, that's weird about this. Right? In the DR, you live life, but there's not dating per se, if you know what I mean. And so we might go to a restaurant or two, but it's not a culture. You get into a relationship and you build that relationship, right? But there's no like, oh, we need to go get Ruth Crisp or something like that, or the equivalent, right? There's not that spirit there where the woman that likes you wants to drain you dry. No woman, this is why I'm convinced in the United States, no women really like us in the United States like that. Not if you're a good man, because they're trying to take our resources and they'll give our resources to the thug. See what I mean? And so, yeah, I'm done with that. But
yeah, I just made a video about that this morning, telling these guys on there that I told these guys, man, right off the gate, she will take her rent money and she will give it to the bad boy, the thug. She will actually take any type of money, man. I'm not playing, right? The rent money, the money for her mortgage. If she's getting foreclosed, yeah, it's going straight to the thug. Yeah. Put
Right,
it on his
or
books and
Chris
everything.
Brown, that woman that took her. Oh Lord, and that dude was right to divorce her behind. Right, kick her straight the hell out. Right, you can't come back in. Yeah, pay $20,000 to go be screwed on by Chris Brown, and you know she probably went backstage to get some D, right? And so yeah, it's that kind of blatant disrespect where you're publicly disrespecting your man like that. But I mean, like I said, the B Dubs don't care in the United States. So when you go to these other places, right? Um, everything is different and it works differently, right? And so this is what I'm saying. When I find out that something works different from what is known, right? It works different from what is known, then I will talk about it. And I was like, this is really peculiar, right? In the DR, in Santo Domingo, in Punta Cana, and Santiago and stuff, things work differently, and I'm figuring out why. There is
Right.
a way to do it, and so it's cultural in a way that you can do things. You do things in a way, and it's an island. So let's keep that in mind. It's an island, so they don't have land bridges that people can drive to them. You have to fly in or take a boat, right? And so they're not going to be as connected as Colombia is or any of the other places, right? And so, and I think that plays a lot into why things work the way they do as well. It's an island, so they're not as connected as everyone else. You see what I mean? And so, it just is what it is.
Yeah, you're saying
Right?
it's like an island like the Philippines, pretty much.
Right. It's surrounded by water, and you need to fly there or take a cruise ship there, and so when we look at this place, the DR, right, you got to look at it that things are going to work there differently than say like a Colombia and stuff. And like I said, a lot of the women are like my complexion. All right. A lot of the people are my complexion. A lot of the people are a lot brighter. Right. And so there's a lot to it. And if they see you're a good person, good people will try to make themselves known to you. Right. But the thing is, you gotta put yourself out there if you want to meet somebody, and that's the whole point of everything. It's hard to meet people at work, so you use apps, you use whatever you can to meet people, but you gotta vet them because you don't have to worry about the same dangers as in Brazil or Colombia. But you do have to worry about the sick grandmother and all the rest of that.
Okay, let me ask you this question. I had a Lyft driver that he was a regular Lyft driver here. I mean, remember, I'm in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and a Lyft driver. I brag about you guys in the Passport Bros and X Facts a lot. You guys don't know behind closed doors. I brag about you guys. Show these guys the receipts, and he just so happened to listen to my conversation, and he said, "Hey, man, you guys over there, they traveling?" I say, "Yeah, man, shit." I said, "Man, if I had my daughter, man, and I had some free time, I'd take my time out." And I got a brother that just came from the DR, man, and he cried on the plane. He said, "Let me tell you, man, I messed up, man, marrying my woman." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He told me, he said, if I'd have messed up and married my woman, man, look, I would have probably married one of the women in the DR." I asked him, "So would you recommend myself as a newbie to just get my feet wet out of any country? That should be one of the first countries I go to." He said, "Hell, motherfucking yes." I said, "But I don't speak Spanish." He said, "Don't worry about it. There's people that's going to help you navigate. I'm telling you." All right. He said, "Any woman you think about in the United States that look good, like Beyonce or anybody, Kelly Rowland, whatever it may have been, they're done. When you go to DR, it's over. Okay. All right. You will
Yeah, that's
find
kind of
you. He said you will find you maybe 20 different Kelly Rowlands or someone that looks way better than Kelly Rowland down there, man. That's just how it is out there, man. And I said, you mean to tell me to break my virginity of my passport, you would recommend? He said, I highly, highly recommend just to get your feet wet. Just to get your feet wet. It's better. And he said, and the advantage of it is it's closer to the States, man. It's not too far. And
Right.
your
That's
trip
why you got a lot of people from Georgia.
and he said your trip is not gonna cost as much as what you think, man. It's not. Okay. But he
Well, it
told
depends
me,
on where you
man.
live.
But he told me, man. He told me, yeah. He said I highly, highly recommend it. He's right here in Missouri where I'm at.
But here's the thing: when they say it's not going to cost you that much, it's relative. Because it costs me less to go to Colombia than it costs me to go to DR. As a matter of fact,
Real.
DR is right from Texas. From Texas to the DR is different from them from Missouri and New York to the DR, right? But to go to Colombia it's cheaper, right? To go to Brazil is almost equal than going to the DR.
Yeah, because I was seeing prices at the time for going to Colombia. Man, those prices were like $400 at the time. Okay, I don't know how much they are now, and
They're
I
about
had
the
to
same.
confirm.
It's about the same.
I had to confirm to Pablo. I said, "Is this? Am I what I'm seeing? Is this actually true?" He said, hell yeah, that's about right."
Yeah,
And he
yep.
said, he told me, he said, people criticize me about actually, man, going across the water to other countries, right? But here's the deal. For my particular situation, right? He said it works out for me because of the simple fact, man, that hey, I got a government job, man, and on top of that, man, I don't have to go too far. If I need to go ahead and go this and that place to Colombia, you know what I mean? It just
Right.
works out for him. He said it kind of really depends on your situation because one person's situation is going to be totally different than the next person's situation. What works out for this person may not work out for the next person.
Hmm. Yeah. The thing is, right? Um, so we got to look at all of these things, right? Um, I really, I have a close relationship with some of the people in the DR, closer than my relationship to people in Colombia. Although it's close, but it's gotten much closer in the DR, right? But not as close as my relationship to people in Brazil. You see what I mean? And so this is the thing that drives me to travel to these places and stuff like that. And so the thing is, I've noticed there's a lot of things I've noticed by traveling and that we don't pay attention to. A lot of people don't pay attention to, right? And so this is why I mentioned that people need to um the guys that speak, right? I speak on Colombia, I speak on the DR, and I speak on Brazil mainly. I can speak a little bit on the Philippines, but my brother Zimalu and brother Eli, um, they are better for that because Eli went there and found him a wife, right? I think he was there like 2 months, 2 3 months, and right. But he's a serious guy, just with purpose, right? Me, I'm doing a lot in these communities, well, especially in Colombia and in Brazil, right? But mainly in Brazil. And so when I go there, like they asked me to bring my transformer, right? And so um, there's a lot that I do, and my requirements is going to be different. So I'm gonna be looking where I can find a woman that can travel. That means no children. You see what I mean? So my vetting process is going to be different. And truth be told, it might be the woman I end up with might be from the Philippines or Thailand. Never know. And so basically, that's the thing right here, right? And so we got brothers. We got brothers that been following. Most of the brothers that follow this channel that really was down, they're married now. Yeah. Well, I can't have somebody with a child because how are you going to travel with me? I'm
That's right.
not there for you. You're supposed to be for me. And you're supposed to be my help me. I'm not your help me. And this is what a lot of guys don't understand. And so this is why I haven't settled down with somebody, because a lot of these women, they have situations and they're looking for me to come help them, but that's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to look and see what you can do for me, right? But then again, this is what they've been taught by society, and this is why society is so effed up, right? So for me, when I vet, they can't have children, because how you going to travel with me? I'm not vetting to give my resources to use to help you raise some other man's child. Yeah, you got me cracked up, right? And so this is the things that
But I have a question for you. What do you do when those women try to guilt you and say, "But a single
they
mother,
can't guilt
she
me.
wants to find love too, Afro Nabi. She wants love too. What are we supposed to do?"
You should have married your dude that the child came from. And I tell them scripturally, and I tell them scripturally, I can't talk to you because you have a baby, and the dude you had the baby from is still alive. I tell them exactly that. They be like, what?
Shout out
I
to
was like,
young boy
yeah.
in the chat. Yeah, shout out to young boy in the chat. He said it right. He said it right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so this is what I tell them. I say, you have a baby daddy. Go back to your baby daddy, right? That's who you're supposed to really go back to. Whoever the dude you're getting child support from, that's who you need to go to. Yeah, I can't do nothing with you, right? And so and I was just thinking about it now, and it's like the B dub in the US can't compete on any level with women outside of the US because the B dubs is looking for somebody to come and serve them when these women are looking to be of service to a good man, right? Now, here's the thing. A lot of these women in the Dominican Republic been back and forth between there and New York. So a lot of them are ruined, right? With the same effed up attitude as the New Yorker B-dubs.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Right,
look,
right.
yeah, because for a while I was in a relationship with a woman from the DR here in the States, and she was in New York, and it was exactly what you had said. Exactly what you said. Carlos had to teach me years ago when I met you guys. He taught me that when you meet a woman here in the States from another country, man, you have to understand that's the watered down version. Okay. You got to get
right.
that pure one that's never been here or has no intentions of being here. That blew me out of the damn water. So
But the
and that's when
only
he taught me
ones,
that you were almost there. He said you were almost there though.
right, and the only ones that come over here and with the right mindset and maintain it are Colombians and the Mexicans, surprisingly, right? But all the rest of them, no. It's a lost cause. And so, hey, if you're just coming in, please get the thumbs up the video. All right. And so what's happening is that it's a lost cause. The brothers know it's a lost cause. And so the brothers ain't playing that game anymore. And because not only are dudes marrying out of the black community. But the women that's trying to follow these dudes to the Dominican Republic, to Colombia, trying to follow them to Thailand, it's not working out for them. Because one, they can't compete with them Thai women, they can't compete with the Filipino women, and they damn for sure can't compete with the Colombian and the Dominican women, right? And so the only thing these women in the U.S. can do is try to turn these women as toxic as they are, because misery loves company. But the thing about the DR is a lot of these women in the DR have not traveled to the United States, so they don't hold on to that kind of legacy of the United States, right? Even though some of that is creeping in. But keep in mind, it's an island. And so they're kind of shielded by a lot of the mess, by the culture and the fact that they're an island, and that they think they have bigger fish to fry in the Haitians. So, I mean, that is what it is, right? And this is why trying to meet them on Tinder is a good idea when it isn't for, say, like in Colombia, right? Because on Tinder, you could just go and just eliminate a bunch of them, and some might be serious, and even some of the other ones might see that. One of the things, try not to let them know how kind you are, because they'll try to use that. But if they try to use that, I just stand up and they'll like, could you get my grandma? No,
Yeah,
I'm not your man.
yeah, I see what you're saying. Don't morph into Mr. Nice Guy. Me and Jay Line had a long talk about it, because he told me, man, Rob the Gay, even in Ethiopia, he said, man, they will hit you with the most saddest sob stories of all damn time, man. And if you're not smart, man, you'll end up falling for it.
Right, but I hear the sad stories, and I say, I'm not your husband, I'm not your boyfriend, and that's what I tell them. So if they're single, that's their problem. If they got a man, that's still their problem.
So what about when they say this stuff? Well, here's my famous one though. But you're from the U.S., not from Dobby. You're rich.
Yep, man. I'm like, even if I was rich, which I'm not, my
In their mind,
is
a
not.
lot of them think we are. That's what's crazy about it. Like I met them online.
But we are. Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, we are. You got to think about it. To them. Yeah, to them. I've heard it from, like, I got virtual assistants, that work for me, I'm in the real estate industry that does some work for me and everything. And you'd be surprised some of the sad sob stories, the scams I've heard. I had a Jamaican actually told me that she was going to get all of her teeth falling out if she doesn't get $3,000. I said, 3,000 Jamaican dollars or US dollars? US dollars. I'm telling you, you're going to let this happen to me? I said, what the hell is wrong? She like just snapped. It blew me out of the water. I've never seen that part of her. I had to let her go. But here's the thing. They run game. They run game. It is what it is. But anyway, thank you everybody for stopping by. We're going to do dating in Colombia next, right? Because that's different. You don't use Tinder. Colombia is different, right? It's where you go that will matter. It is where you go and what you know how to do that will matter.
I'm glad today you taught me something different, and that was when it comes to Tinder, it depends on the cities and the areas, not exactly the entire country.
Right. And so
that's different.
It's about the cities, and so Colombia is going to be a different thing as far as dating, and it's about where you go and stuff like that, right?
Now let me ask you this question. Here's the big one, right? And this is very important. In Colombia, the biggest thing I also heard, not just the Scofamies, but some of those women, even though there was documentaries written about this, man, on YouTube, it was crazy. But some of the women work for cartel bosses. Yeah. And they literally specialize in going after
straight up.
So what do you about that?
Straight up. Oh, hold on. Wait. and I have a way for you to tell that too, right? There's a way to tell. There's a way to tell what's going on, and we'll talk about that as to what to look out for in Colombia when on my next live that I do. It'll be about that, and
Yeah, man. Yeah, there was
I
this.
will tell you.
Yeah, it was scary. Like I was watching, like I think it was Dateline or this private investigator guy that actually put like some hidden cameras and had camera crew on them, and they were showing like how often that happened in Brazil and Colombia, man. And it blew me out of the water that these women would, would do that. Like they'll meet them like on Tinder, for example, meet them at the bar, and then what he'll do is he'll put the cameras up and leave his drink there intentionally to see if she put something in it. And then he'll come back and either sometimes they would put something in and some of them won't. Let's assume that in this case she didn't, but they'll get to talking and she'll say, let's go back to your room, go back to the room. And then he'll make, let's say, some wine or whatever. And he said, I got to go to the restaurant. I'll be back. And they'll have another hidden camera in there. And yeah, she heard him and put something in that man's drink. Yeah, it blew me out of the water. Yeah. Yeah, you see those? Yeah,
there's a way around that.
Wow, that's deep.
There is a way to look out for that, and it start from the first meeting, right? And like I said, I have conversations with these women before anything, right? And so that's why I'm still single, because the conversation just told me, oh, bad news, or something funny with the phone number, right? But I'll talk about that when we talk about Colombia, and I'll get you up for Colombia. Yeah. You can ask your questions, and I will tell you how to know, specifically how to know in a way that
he did. Yeah, he did both Brazil and Colombia, man, but he was focused on Brazil. I had no idea. And, I don't know if you've seen Cheaters, but he came out with the cameras like the Cheaters guys did, man, and busted her out.
I saw it. Yeah. I saw that. It was a white guy. It was a white guy that was doing a documentary and testing, and he wanted to show people what was going on.
Yeah, and he's smart. Yeah, that was real smart. He did like a bunch of them, man. It was a bunch of them. He was doing them in various countries, man. Various countries. It blew me out of the water. I had no idea what was going on there.
But there is a way. But there is a way to tell when you get there's a way to tell, and we'll discuss that so tomorrow I'm going to another place. And I'm going to check the internet. And if it's good, I'll do it tomorrow night. But I'll let you know around 5 o'clock if it's going to be tomorrow night or Saturday night, right? But I'll either do a live tomorrow night or Saturday night. And it's going to involve Colombia about this very thing that we're discussing right now.
Okay, gotcha. Right? Okay, so I'll take note of that.
Because there is a specific way to tell. And we'll discuss that. All right. For y'all coming in,
this is amazing information.
Thank y'all for stopping by. Don't forget my PayPal me and Cash App is in the description box. If you would like to help donate to what this channel is doing in these communities that I go to, and get the thumbs up if you can. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this channel, right? So tomorrow night or Saturday night, depending on my Wi-Fi, I will do another live. I know it'll be good Sunday night, right? So tomorrow, just if you subscribe, just look for it because I'll set it up, and it'll be Colombia. How to guard yourself or something to that effect, but it'll be about Colombia and how to watch your own back, right? Because there's a way to tell when dealing with these women in Colombia. right? There is a way. There's a lot of tells, and there's a lot of things you should look for and stuff, right? So with that said, I'm
And
out. Peace, love, and
and
soul.
and we can do the same. Can we apply the same information in Brazil also too? Since that guy did it in Brazil also, that you're
Yeah,
about to
yeah,
talk about.
Colombia. Yeah, we're going to do Colombia, but Colombia and Brazil work almost alike. But I
Yeah.
know Brazil more intimately than that guy, and so there's some things I could tell you
Okay.
about Brazil. So that will be separated from Colombia. Um, so
Okay.
I'll
Gotcha.
give you,
Separate topic. Separate
yeah,
topic.
because Brazil, there's a way to navigate Brazil, right? And if you know how to navigate Brazil, that should not befall you. But
Hmm.
Brazil is all about where you meet, more so than who you meet. Who you meet is going to be about based on where you meet. And there's some
Gotcha.
things that you should do first before you invite a woman from Brazil up to you, right?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So
And this
and so
information is,
a
and
lot of things are going to line up. A lot. Go ahead.
you're saying this information you're giving, this is especially for newbies, or exclusively for those who are both experienced and newbies, or what?
It's for everybody. It's for
Okay.
everybody. It's because I don't think even the old school people. See, here's the thing: a lot of old school people keep getting hemmed up because they don't understand what's going on. Remember, I was a scientist all my life, and so I look at not just things analytically, but I test things because that's what I did all my life. That's what scientists test things, and they look at outcomes from those tests. You see what I mean? We notice patterns. We notice patterns that other people don't notice, right? And um, we come up with the solutions for the patterns that we've learned, right? And so when I have this discussion on Colombia, you can kind of apply this to Brazil, but Brazil has other caveats, right? But you can apply this to Brazil, but it's going to be similar in some ways, but separate. So that's why you got to do Colombia as Colombians and Brazil as Brazil, right? And so there's a way to guard yourself from all the mischievous things that's going on in both of these places. And I was able to see, I'm able to see some patterns in how these things work. You know what I mean? And
And you
so,
said, and you said this is regardless if you're in the big city area, the beach area, or also in the favelas, right?
no,
You
no,
can
no, no,
apply
no,
this.
no, no. Brazil, the favelas is different. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I got to do is do Brazil differently. Because the favelas, the train, everything is different. Brazil, there's a way to meet, and it's more intuitive in Brazil than in Colombia, because the cultures are different in a way that really separates the two, right? So that's why I'm gonna do Colombia first, and then Brazil. Because remember, I live mostly in Brazil, right? And so I ride the trains and the metros all over the place, and had a lot of conversation with Uber drivers and stuff over the years, right? And so um, Brazil, I know more intimately than anything because I'm hanging out in the favelas and I live in the city, right? So I see the stark differences between how people treat each other in the city versus how things run in the favelas, right? All the way up to who runs the favelas and who runs the
Right.
city.
Right. And you're saying the same, and this information to give, will I actually, can I apply this like in the Amazon area, like Manaus too?
No, it's different.
Okay.
It, yeah, it's different. So That's what I'm saying. These things are different. So that's why you got to do them separately. But Colombia is different from Brazil for some very main reasons and stuff. And we'll talk about that and look at the culture of these places, and so it can help you navigate these places.
I see what you're saying. You're saying each of them is a different beast in itself.
Right. Each of them is a different beast. They might be cats, but one's a jaguar, the other one is a leopard. Two different
Yeah, a leopard
types of cats.
or a cheetah.
Okay. And so basically they're kind of in the same family, but they're not the same beast. Right. So that's what we're looking at. All right. So with that said, y'all, I'm out. Peace, love, and soul. I got to pack up.
You got it, buddy. Take it easy. Have a great night too, man. And thank you, man, for letting me come to the live. And thank you all for supporting, man. Make sure you guys click this man's like button and make sure you guys donate to his PayPal. I'm out of here. Peace out, buddy.
Peace, y'all.